Look what I'm going to be riding today, the Cube electric bike. I have used it a couple of times, but the reason why I decided to make a video this time around is because the weather outside is far from perfect. It is sunny, but the temperature is around only 13 degrees Celsius. It has been also raining for the past week, so the roads are covered with mud. I want to test how the battery and the motor perform in these conditions. One thing I want to mention before going for the ride is that this bike cannot work as a fully electric bike, meaning you basically ride it like a regular bike and the onboard computer determines the amount of power provided by the electric motor. At first glance, the bike doesn't look like an electric bike. That's because the battery is nicely hidden and the electric motor isn't huge, so you have to get really close to see that this is an electric bike. With that clear, let's go. First thing I want to test is the performance. The electric motor shouldn't be affected too much by the colder than usual temperatures, and it is true. It performed the same way it performed during hot summer days. I tried to accelerate as fast as I could, and the 0 to 20 km/h times are really good. Of course, it takes much longer to reach 40 km/h, which is probably the maximum speed. I tried to go faster, but I could actually feel the motor braking at 42 km/h, so higher speed is only reachable when going downhill. When accelerating, especially from standstill, you can feel the electric motor kick in a moment after you start moving. You get used to this and you can really carefully control the speed. Of course, this bike is much heavier compared to a standard bike, mainly because of the battery, but other electronics do not help the weight either. You can definitely feel the extra weight when you ride the bike without the help of electric motor, but in ordinary situations the dynamics aren't affected too much. I was actually pleasantly surprised with the sharp brakes. The stopping distance from 30 km/h to an absolute stop felt comparable to a regular mountain bike. All in all, in terms of versatility, this bike is just like any other regular mountain bike, but you can travel at much faster speeds for longer, so if you want to use this bike to commute, it is a good option, but I would also take a look at electric skateboards, because you can take them whenever you go. The higher weight of this bike makes it very difficult to carry it up and down stairs. The most important thing when talking about an electric bike in cold temperatures is battery life or range. I have done 30 km in exactly 1 hour, majority in power mode, more on that later, and still had about 40% of the battery left. I am comfortable saying it is possible to do 70 km in power mode or 100 km in normal mode. Speaking of modes, there are 5. Recuperation puts some energy back into the battery. The electric motor acts as a generator, but it isn't strong enough to slow you down when going downhill. I would only use the off mode in an absolute emergency and no charge left. EPO is suitable for long distance trips without charging, and the electric motor provides enough power to offset the weight disadvantage. Normal is surprisingly suitable for normal routes and trips. Power gives you the most performance, especially when going uphill, but the range is shorter compared to other modes. Overall, this is an amazing electric bike, but it is also an amazing bike in general. That is one important thing. If you want to drive without electric power or you do not want to attract too much attention, this is the perfect bike for you.